Hi, nice to meet you.
Hey, man, nice to meet you too.
So, fantastic work in this film.
Oh.
Absolutely. I was watching it, and I don't see you. I'm looking at you, and it's not Eddie on screen with like a pair of glasses. It's Stephen Hawking.
That is the greatest compliment.
No. What was your process to transform into that individual?
Do you know what? It was there were sort of various sides to the process, I suppose. Like, firstly, I needed to kind of educate myself on the science, so I read as much as I could and understood as much as I could, and had specialists sort of help me. And but then it was also about educating myself on ALS, on the disease that Stephen has, and so that was going again to see specialists in London and meeting people who are suffering from this horrific disease. And then I worked with a dancer, a woman called Alex Reynolds, to try and find a way of playing that decline in my own body and making sure that my muscles could cope with the rigours of the shoot, really.
Yeah.
And then finally I got to meet Stephen and Jane and Jonathan and the family, and that was amazing.
How much time did you get to spend with the family, and what kind of advice did they give you for portraying it?
So I went to Stephen's house about 5 days before we started filming, met Stephen and his nurses, and that was formidable. I mean, he's one of the most charismatic men. It's very difficult for him to communicate now, but he just sort of emanates humour and wit and like mischief, and so that was wonderful. But then also we went over to Jane and Jonathan, her second husband, and Tim, Stephen and Jane's youngest child. We had dinner with them, and I went in and found Felicity and Jane were in her wardrobe trying on her clothes, and so everyone was they allowed us into their orbit, and they were really generous.
Sure. You portrayed characters that are no longer with us. Obviously, Stephen Hawking and the family are still with us. Is it more daunting to have someone kind of on the sidelines going, all right, let's see what you can do. Let's see what you can, how well you're going to perform it.
Yeah, hell yes. It's more daunting. It's unlike anything I've ever done, really, because you know that ultimately they're going to see the film, and they're going to judge the film, and so from the moment I was cast to that moment when they saw the film, that there was this sort of weight of responsibility, and the fact that they enjoyed it meant the world.
Sure.
And I could sleep as well.
Yeah, right.
After.
I had read that you, in a previous audition for another film, that you had told a fib about riding a horse.
This is true.
Did you have to tell any fibs about knowing interplanetary physics?
I'm continuing to fib about knowing about my knowledge of astronomy, but I do remember on this speaking to James Marsh, the director, on the phone, and him asking how I would go about this, and it's like any job interview. You speak incredibly confidently, knowing exactly, and then you're like, yeah, this is how I'd do it. And then you sort of put the phone down, and they're like, you've got the part, and you go, I have no idea how to do it. Like, I was completely blagging my way through it. So
perfect. Well, it was an amazing job. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thanks, man. Nice to see you.
Take it easy.